Okay, and we are live, so we should be live on YouTube. Let me go and check the page, and any moment it should appear. Looks like it. Okay. Pull this over to the side so I can see. I'm actually going to be able to see the chat while we're doing this, so
oh boy,
that'll be pretty cool. Okay, and this is the Heroes of Jordoba. I'm Matt Finch, and wanted to just let you know, please subscribe to the channel if you're watching, like the video, and if you're really fond of watching adventures being played online, 5th edition D&D, please contribute to the Patreon at patreon.com/Uncle Matt. And so with that, we have Ala Fedorova, we have Emily, Ian, Gabe, and hopefully also Zach Smith, who hasn't shown up yet, but I think he's around. So hopefully we'll find him. Also, Gabe is gone now.
he's having some technical difficulties that he's working through.
Okay. So we'll wait for Gabe to get back on, and then I'll give you guys the background on the whole where you are at this point in time, which is you basically just fought a second set of Ankh-Hags. You were in the Dwarven tomb. What was the very end of stuff on the Dwarven tomb thing, Ian?
So we restored the 4 Dwarven graves to Qatar Pilar, the great Dwarven god of construction, and
it's Kaitror Pillar. Kaitror the Pillar.
And we restored the lost items that like the armor and such that we found from the bodies that those flags which have infested all of the Dwarven lands, it appears, that had killed them. Because we've only found Dwarven corpses on those Ankh-Hags.
Yep. Okay, now, Ian, your connection is shitty. You want to try dropping off and then jumping back on again?
Okay, I thought it was just me.
No, I'm getting that too.
We'll miss you, Ian.
Okay. Man, I didn't have a chance to set up the opening shot at Strol. I hope I've got the camera centered and everything.
That's all right. I'm sure it'll be great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's 2 Gabes now.
Oh, that's awesome. We have 2 Gabes.
We've replaced Ian with another Gabe.
That is awesome. I had no idea Google could do that.
We have invented a Gabe cloner.
I wonder if we're going to get a 3rd one.
Oh, he crashed. He died.
One of them died. Oh.
Ian's not getting in either. It's not my bandwidth.
Technical difficulties day. We had some bad storms roll through and our power went out a couple times, so who knows, maybe that's affecting our end.
Gabe, are you able to hear us? I see you've got your mic on mute.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's not anything storm related. I don't know if they've changed their interface or something, but I'm getting serious like UI lag from Google Hangouts right now. It's very strange.
Okay. All right, here's Zach. All right.
Hello, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Hey,
So
Zach.
we're just waiting for Ian McGarty to get back on. We kicked him off because his connection was really bad, and now it appears it's even worse. So
see what happens when you do that to people?
Yeah. Never let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
So, Ala, can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm getting a notification that you added like some control room app.
Is that a little better?
Okay. I don't know. Say a long sentence.
A long sentence?
Okay, that's good.
That was a phrase.
But it was in quotes, though. It still works.
All right.
You can't really argue with that one. You're off your game, Zach.
Hey, sometimes I don't want to argue with something. That
Okay.
seemed like a really boring argument to have.
So it's not that you weren't ready to have an argument. It's just you weren't ready to have that argument.
Oh, I was ready. I used my judgment.
Okay, so you guys are still at the Dwarven Tomb at the moment. You have restored everything back into place. Did you get the thing from the Dwarven God, Ian?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a rock, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you have the rock. And so you guys camp out overnight, and there are no difficulties during the night. And then you head onward, continuing up the mountain trail towards Strol Kai. One thing that you notice as you're going along is that there are a couple of sheep skeletons along the way that are absolutely, I mean, they look like they were hit with a hammer or something. Their bones like all scattered out sort of from a central location. With these things. In fact, you investigated the first one pretty carefully to make sure that it wasn't a person, and you were able to tell that it was a sheep. So somebody has been bombing the area with sheep skeletons, it looks like.
So are they just like strewn about on the ground?
Well, I mean, each one started out as an individual sheep, and then the impact caused them to sort of radiate outward from the point of arrival around.
That's a guy I know actually who did that.
Really?
Did we
Do you
miss?
associate with people like this?
I didn't say I associated with him. It's just a guy I know.
We must have missed like the annual sheep tossing tournament.
No, it's this guy Gulliborn. Well, I'll take you to meet him after we go to Strol Kai for the beard contest.
Which it looks like Gabe may miss. we're gonna have to sit him next to Allah with a second pair of headphones.
We might.
Allah, tell him that I attacked the giant spiders. No, I said I run. I said I run. I said I retreat.
He's
Not
actually
front line.
restarting because I don't see him online right now either. So,
Okay.
let's see.
All right. Well, he's here for the beard competition. I really don't want to.
We can exposition until we get to Strol Kai. Still got, many sheep bodies and other corpses to see.
Yeah, there are definitely sheep bodies, so I guess one thing we can do is I'm going to wander on over here. Hey, I am super pleased with the 3D printing plastic. I just stepped on a piece and it didn't break.
Nice.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome. That was the one thing that I was fairly sure could screw up with those things, would be stepping on them.
Hello.
Ah.
Hey, he's back.
Okay.
You just missed the beard competition.
Yeah, it's done. Everybody met Yohawk Fun Yohawk and then went on along their merry way.
Cool.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so you guys are on the road to Strol Kai. And let me go ahead and switch the camera over. So you're going along, and you've Gabe, you knew that you were running across dead donkeys and stuff like that. I mean, not dead donkeys, dead sheep along the way. And so here you are going along. And that is really, really a poor camera view. So here you go. You're walking along. And you come across a dwarf who is riding a pony.
Majestic.
That is a portly pony.
For a moment, I was like, "Is he riding a donkey?" I thought that was
I thought it was a pig.
No, it's
A
a
pig?
it's a donkey. It's actually a really good sculpt of a Shetland pony. That's really what they look like. They're pretty funny looking.
Oh, yeah. That
Kids-
is a really realistic pony.
Yeah, kids ride them in England. We used to, they're a lot better than llamas because they don't spit and kids can ride them. So that's
Yeah, I
another
mean, everybody's always talking about how much they want to ride llamas, and I'm like, ride a Shetland pony.
I think
They
I'd
get a
break
bad
it.
rap.
You
People
have-
need to know.
Your friends all want to ride llamas.
All of them, yeah. They're like, oh, that'd be so hip, like riding a llama. And I'm like, yeah,
I think they deserve everything they get.
Oh,
they're
wait.
not camels, but think they are.
Camels are the worst.
Llamas are pretty bad too. And it's just, how can you be majestic and powerful and proud of yourself if you're riding a llama?
Yeah, that's what I asked them. And you know what answer they have? Nothing.
Yeah. Just looking right back slack-jawed at you, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So the guy on the donkey is a dwarf, and he waves to you, and you stop, and he says, "So good to see that they're telling people to take the safe route up to the Citadel."
Did we get told that there is an unsafe route?
Oh, yeah, down by the if you take any of the other routes, there's the problem with the dragon.
A dragon?
Dragon.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's not a very big one, but it's definitely been grabbing sheep and sort of eats them, and then it's been dropping the skeletons, as you can see.
Ah, a sheep.
We saw some of them bits, yes.
You guys, we don't need to hear about this. I'll show you after.
Wait, do you know of the dragon?
No, it really.
I told you.
I feel like no dragon is probably better. We have places to be. Dragons usually take some time.
No. I said I was going to introduce you to someone, and after this beard competition, that's where we're headed.
Well, after beard competition, yeah, perfect, 100%.
Wait, you know the dragon? You are acquainted.
I wouldn't say know each other. I know of him,
Oh, we all know of him.
and we
He
were supposed to go talk to him and kill him. And then I said we're gonna go talk to him.
And
Say
kill him?
We're gonna exterminate
What?
a dragon?
Wait,
Who said that?
Cause I fucking love exterminating.
Does Muriel demand that we slay a dragon?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
so why do we need
Ding
to
ding.
talk to him?
Because it's only polite. One of you needs to be a distraction, so the rest of
To
us
be
can.
completely fair, I think Muriel probably had told you to kill dragon. I don't know if it was really an us kind of thing,
I have
but
the perfect plan. All we need to do is create 5 sheep costumes. Powerfully padded to protect ourselves from the beast's talons. And the
And
job is
fireproof.
half done already.
Well, we gotta make sure they're fireproof, dude. Otherwise, we're gonna die before we get out of those costumes.
Well,
I don't know, but I'm already really looking forward to the Trojan sheep plan.
No. It won't be lambskin.
most important part, this is happening after or before beard competition? Because I have seen what fire can do to my beard.
After.
Okay. Ooh.
I was very considerate to think of your needs and wants, and decided that even though this was holy business we had to pursue, we would do what you needed to do first.
Does the
Very
Lowland beard competition follow the same protocols as the Highland beard competition, where all the losers have their beards immediately shaven? Because that would help with the sheep contest. I mean, sheep costume, not.
Well, I feel if sheep costume is what you want, perhaps dead sheep out there would be a good start as well.
But they're mostly bones, man.
True.
Didn't say it had to be good sheep costume. In fact, I think it was quite the opposite. But as far as question about beard competition, no, I think it is agreed upon that generally the disfigurement of losing beard competition is enough of insult of itself. No shaving necessary. They can wear their sad beards in all their lack of glory.
But you're always open to like friendly wagers of such, right?
Oh, and unfriendly as well.
It's shaping up to be quite a week.
Killing the dragon, like totally betting on our friend's awesome beard. Yeah, I think we can. We'll do this.
The dragon. Yeah, no, I won't. Never mind. I won't tell you right now.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So you follow on up the road to Strol Kai. And there you arrive at Strol Kai. There's a giant granite statue.
Dope.
Very impressive.
And then the door. Okay, the door is over in that direction. We can see that our bard is over there just looking up at this, still looking at the statue, apparently.
This is dope.
So you guys can head over toward the entrance if you want to, or you can look around out here. What do you want to do?
Head to the entrance.
Okay. Emily, you heading to the entrance with everybody?
I'll stand over here on the side on this rock.
I noticed you standing over to the side by the rock, backpack.
You just see the backpack with like little legs sticking out upside down.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
it's
true. I
like
mean, if you're
a
traveling in Ulrich's
backpack break.
Huh?
Is it a union mandated backpack break?
Yes. Every 1 hour, we must take 10 minutes
Well,
for a pipe.
so far my backpack has never led me wrong and has been weirdly useful. So I'm just going to do what the backpack seems to be advising and stand aside while you guys open the door.
All right, so what, Emily is getting into the backpack and you guys are going to move on, or?
I just call Emily's character Backpack because as far as I'm aware, he is like a piece of software that they sold me with the backpack that just tells me the best way to use the backpack in a survival situation. And
Okay.
nothing he's done since then has not fit that brief. So I'm
Yeah.
just assuming that, you know, that's what Emily is. Like she's some kind of homunculus that came with the backpack.
And I, as backpack, am thinking we need a 10-minute pipe break on this rock beside the door, not in front of the door, while they open it.
Okay. Well, the door itself is a deep tunnel that goes back, I don't know, about 50 feet. And then there are large brass gates there, which at the moment are open, although there are a couple of dwarven guards standing by it. And they say, "So, what's your business?"
We're here for the beard competition. And I have to go to the Temple of the Pillar to deliver this rock.
All right. You've got a reason to be here. What about you, elf?
Oh, I'm like totally
The
here
elf-
to watch the competition.
The elf is indentured to me.
Okay.
Also, I'm an excellent exterminator.
An exterminator, eh? What is it that you exterminate?
Mostly rats.
Okay. That's very elven of you, I suppose.
Whatever pays the bills, man. He
Right.
says this all in dwarvish, like it's no big deal.
Okay. And you stroke your beard while you're, talking,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of extra credibility with that kind of thing. So, okay. So, you guys are going in, and Jiglet backpack, all sorts of pseudonyms and aliases, is still sitting outside on a rock smoking a pipe.
Well, that all depends on what Zach is doing too, because I come with his backpack.
I guess Albrecht will head up once the gates are actually open.
Okay. So
I hop back in the backpack and ride with him.
Okay. So you're in the backpack, and you guys start moving forward, and you're going to go into the famous gates of Strol Kai. And so you head on in, and you go through several defensive fortifications along the way. And then eventually you enter into sort of the heart of the Citadel. And Albrecht and Kurzim and Dane are all pointing out, this is that corner, this is the hall of such and such. The way that dwarves do, and they keep pointing to various rocks and things and expecting people to appreciate them.
But they all just look like rocks.
Yeah, as far as you're concerned, they're all just look like rocks. So, you guys.
The quartzite is millions of years old. How can you not be impressed?
Well, so is Steve. So.
To be fair, the quartzite looks better at its age. I don't know.
Wow. At least I'm not sporting like those weird ass like cave roach droppings, man. Good thing I'm here, really.
Cave roach droppings?
Yeah.
Those are a sign of character.
I do not know if it is all lost in translation. I do not understand this cave roach dropping.
Well, what else do you think cave roaches are gonna leave? Flowers? They're cave roaches.
I think it's an elven dance.
You're
I think they
perhaps
just
perhaps
refuse
been
to
hitting
see.
opium a bit too hard, my friend. Maybe lay off this morning. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. You should not be high for this.
No. We in our country, this is a place of tolerance, Steve. We call those gnomes.
Oh. You
And
know,
I believe I
think I
ended
could
the opium
exterminate those
epidemic of
two.
I ended the opium epidemic of Jordoba.
Pretty much, yeah.
That doesn't mean Steve doesn't have a private stash.
Yeah, I did buy a private pipe to go before we destroyed it.
That's true.
What? Steve's ever-ending opium pipe?
Let's not be too hasty in judging the opium.
So there's like this beard competition, right? So are the rest of you guys gonna enter, or is it just gonna be Dane?
Well, the problem with entering the beard competition is you cannot sit in the stands during the beard competition and enjoy the rich flow of food and drink and beard decorating and the general, just the frivolous atmosphere of not having the stiff competition of standing while people look at your beard. And so many times have I gone through that. It's nice to simply be a spectator for once.
It is fair. It is very, very fun to be spectator at a beard competition.
You get to see beards.
Well, there's beards. There's beards. There's caber tossing that they do with the beards. I mean, they do a lot of different things that are, so people can see the beards in action, because just standing there, a beard's a beard.
With the beards, drink with the beards.
So, all right. So you guys head on in, and after a while, people begin recognizing Kurzim. And they're looking at it. They're giving you a little bit of a side eye on that.
But not Albrecht?
Burial in bad odor, my friend?
No,
Well,
if you recall the circumstances of our leaving.
Yeah, the escape on the donkey with fire everywhere. And so there are a lot of people who know, that you're sort of in trouble. And eventually a couple of guards come up and they say, all right, Curzim, you're back, but it's time to come and talk to the king now.
Yeah, that's just where I was headed.
All right. So they walk you over, and they're pretty polite about it. They're keeping their distance and not poking you along with spears or trying to put you in chains or anything like that. And so along you go to the Dwarven King. And so there is the Dwarven King. There is another dwarf nearby who has a keg of beer and is just standing there drinking, and he looks at you guys sort of interestedly as you come in. And so the king looks at you and he says, "Aha, Curzim and Albrecht."
Gunther, how are you, my lord?
I'm well, Albrecht. So, Curzim, you are accused of theft of donkeys, reckless donkey riding, igniting things that should not have been ignited, and kidnapping an impressionable dwarf who wouldn't know better.
Those are some serious allegations, little dude.
May we take advantage of our right to counsel, O king, and be assigned a lawyer?
Of course, you may be assigned a lawyer. Did you have one in mind?
Yes.
And who might that be?
I gesture to my all-purpose backpack that's got.
I pop out. Hello, lawyer here.
No. All right. The king looks at you and says, "So you're carrying a halfling in your backpack now, Albrecht?"
Yes, and I presume she will have access to the legal library of the kingdom in order to make herself aware of the local customs and local laws, as she is currently only skilled and educated in the backpack law. So we'll need at least 3 days to prepare our defense.
Albrecht, I want to tell you something, Albrecht. And he sort of leans closer to you. He says, "Albrecht."
Yes, Gunther.
"I've known you for a long time."
Yes, and I know those things about you, remember?
Mm-hmm. And there's something I've always thought about you, Albrecht. You're a
several things I've thought about you, Gunther.
You're a very, very strange person, Albrecht. What happened to the cat that you used to think was the brain of your backpack? Or was that
I'm going to suddenly get very worried and hop out of the backpack.
He needed to eat
taking up a career in real estate. This is very at the moment. Thank you very much.
Left the cat in control of your real estate empire in Jordoba, right?
Not mine at all. He's in fact he's been a very useful client and had me design many buildings. So
that's good, Albrecht. That's good. Curzim?
No, I mean we're guilty of several of those, but I couldn't get rid of him in my defense.
That's fair.
So I don't consider that kidnapping.
No,
I do apologize.
We'll dismiss that charge, says the king. If you couldn't get rid of him.
It's the donkey theft and explosion wasn't intentional, and I have since repented my criminal ways and sought out a more holy life.
And from my part, my lord, I apologize that it has taken me so long to bring them back. But I can vouch for the fact that he has done a very lawful thing by destroying very, very large opium community.
Oh, well, that's not so bad, I suppose. Now he reaches down. He reaches down to the side of the throne and he takes a purse filled with coins, about 100 gold pieces, and he tosses that over to Gabe. And so there you are. Good job, lad.
Please call me comrade.
Well, the king is not part of either of the Hammer Strolls or the Putrikais. He is the royal house is sort of like a little independent clan of its own. It intermarries with both of the clans, so he's not going to call you comrade.
Oh, but he'll call me lad. Yeah, I see. I see how it is. It's fine.
Yes, lad. Yeah,
Favor.
because
I
he's
have,
only like 200 years older than you.
Wow.
I have brought back
Boy or son, perhaps, but this. Oh, I felt like there was a bit of cultural, but no, it's fine. Thank you, my lord. I appreciate it.
You're young enough to be my great grandson.
Yeah, and I do detect a hint of a brogue there, so
Hey.
as it were.
You're a whippersnapper. That's what you are.
I have brought back a relic for the Temple of the Pillar and vowed to eliminate the dragon from the land to better serve Strol Kai.
A young whippersnapper. That's what you are. What, Curzim?
We'll kill the dragon for you. I will, to make sure that maybe with their help, if they're willing to.
So you've come equipped
In order to. Yes, we'd like to make amends for. I'd like to make amends for what happened.
Well, if you manage to kill the dragon, then I think that'd be worth a complete and utter pardon. And Dane would have to return his 100 gold pieces.
Then we are definitely willing to do that. Dane mentioned that he might be willing to return the money because he just did it for the betterment of the community too, but I don't know if he was just intoxicated or not.
He's just young, that's all. But he ought one day he'll learn the value of money. So I suppose even if you kill the dragon, Dane can hold on to his 100 gold pieces. Maybe he'll invest it well in something that'll bring a return and settle down in nice dwarven solidity.
Well, knowing him, it'll be more beard trading cards.
That was an investment in the. Well, that's the long accent.
No, it's not.
That was investment in future. They is appreciate. It is worth far more than what I originally paid for it, and I'll thank you to leave that one alone. That said, my liege, thank you. I will hold on to the gold pieces for time being as practice, so I can learn about money and investment.
Yeah.
Oh,
Young
Listen.
people have to do things like that. What card is it you said you had?
I had a rookie Johak van Johak card. He even signed it.
Really?
Yep.
Have you still got it?
Very rare one has such a beard in their first year.
I do. It is most treasured possession. After beard itself.
I'd think so. It's worth at least 2,000 gold pieces. A rookie card from Johak van Johak. Of course, if he loses this year, the value of it would go down considerably.
Honestly, I'm somewhat that you could even consider such a thing.
Well,
The value to much higher anyway. It is not so much the gold piece value of card that is important, but what it means to me. He was my beard inspiration.
that is a very important thing. Just hold that to yourself as you age.
Perhaps I will.
Do you happen to know where Gullivorm has made his lair?
Oh, he's at the he's set up at Varden's Overlook, which you might not. Well, Kurzim, you and Albrecht probably remember. Dane's probably too young, but there's an overlook in an area where we eventually abandoned not because of the dragon. It was because of the spiders, giant spiders in the area, and it simply wasn't worth trying to keep an eye on the whole area. So what we did was it was one or two closing faucet maneuvers, and so we blocked off with portcullises the areas where the spiders could come in. And but the dragon came in to Varadin's Overlook, which has a large enough entrance out that the dragon can fly in and out. But then what it does is it goes back into the entrance to the old mines. And normally you wouldn't, you'd be able to go in and kill the dragon. But the problem is that it's filled with these giant spiders all the way through. And the dragon doesn't care. It can go through the webs, and they can't really bite it, and it can burn them out. So they tolerate the dragon being there. It gets the benefit from them. And we even think that the dragon occasionally drives game for them, because they once a month they seem to set up webs at the edge of one of the forests, and then the dragon comes in, and of course the deer and the rabbits and all of that heads toward the area where they have the web. So it seems to be there's some sort of partnership going on there. Probably some of the giant spiders are intelligent enough to talk to the dragon.
Classic leaky faucet followed by a hair clog.
Now, oh
No, it's not a hair clog. It's a closing faucet. We used iron.
sire,
Yes.
you are well famed throughout the land for your slaying of the worm of the 3-bit winkles.
Aye.
A great dragon slayer were you in your shorter bearded days.
Aye.
Have you any advice or description of this beast of a dragonological nature?
I do. It's
Dragonological.
it's red in hue,
Oh, that's the worst one.
and it eats sheep. We've had several reminders of that drop from the sky.
Does it eat them raw or cooked?
Generally raw. It uses the flame more as a weapon. It's one of those ones, the raw food eating
Excellent.
red dragons.
It's a raw vegan. All right. Have you any of the practice sheep you use to teach young dwarfs how to herd the beasts?
What, the practice sheep?
Yes, if we could only get a hold of some practice sheep, it will aid us in our mission.
Albrecht, we don't use practice sheep.
Whoa.
We use those, Albrecht. Those were real sheep.
Oh,
That's the reason that all the farmers were so angry at you.
well, where are those sheep?
Albrecht, the sheep didn't survive. That was why all of them were so mad at you. Because the practice ward was a real ward too.
Is that why you sent 3 dwarfs, a halfling, and an elf to come and kill me?
No, 3. You're one of those 3 dwarves.
Oh, I was. Anyway,
It hasn't been a strong suit.
I apologize, my lord. He's sober.
Oh, he's sober.
I apologize.
You brought Albrecht sober into my throne room.
it's been a long journey, my lord. After a while,
I thought the mushrooms would last this long, but they wore off.
You there, tourist, and he
the things I've seen.
He gestures over to the dwarf that's next to him in the keg of beer, and he says, "Tourist, serve them up some of your beer. Share it with that one. That even the young one can have some."
Thanks. Thank you,
I
Your
was hoping
Majesty.
to attend some meetings in the city, to be perfectly honest.
You what?
I was hoping to attend some meetings in the city, because I feel as though I've fallen on the wagon, and occasionally been not drinking quite more than I feel is comfortable, and I've made some questionable decisions, having all my faculties at my disposal, which you've told me many times not to do. So,
I have Albrecht.
so
He
Okay,
has been hired to rebuild the temple, though.
really, that's wonderful, Albrecht. I've always said that if someone would ever believe you, that you'd have a chance to let your talents show. You actually can do architecture quite well.
well, sir, I do have a letter.
I know, and you can do architecture as well.
I can.
And I'd like to say that there was no large amount of deceit on my part to
Although,
get
to
that.
be honest, most of dwarven architecture is mostly pointing. But yes, I have something for it.
Well, we still could use those sheep, one way or another.
Well,
No, we don't. We don't need any sheep. We're gonna try a landslide
What?
to get that dragon.
Well, yeah.
Classic landslide, cave entrance landslide. We're gonna do it.
Albrecht,
The dragon is a beast of the air.
Albrecht, have you had enough beer now? You've started to have yourself back together now.
I just want to know, has Muriel specifically said a landslide is the tactic to be used against this fearsome worm?
Not with words, but with a vision.
What was the vision? Was it a landslide?
It was a vision of the classic landslide maneuver.
Wow.
Can
get
you
visions
enlighten
too,
me?
man.
I'm not sure what this classic landslide maneuver is
Not
precisely.
even my backpack has heard of it.
Right.
We need to like get the dragon somewhere where we can landslide it, so we might need some sheep for bait.
Oh, you can
We're
have
gonna
look, you
need
can have some sheep. You just can't have the ones that Albrecht's talking about, the practice sheep, because they were eaten by his bloody practice warg that was a real warg, not a practice one that Albrecht brought for the practice, and it ate the sheep that Albrecht was practicing protecting, and all that Albrecht did was shout imprecations at it while it was doing it and try and explain why it was a bad idea to eat the practice sheep.
Let's not discuss my sober past.
All right.
Instead, fix our gaze on the slaying of this fearsome reptile.
All right. Well, you can have. How many sheep do you need, Albrecht?
20 sheep.
We don't need 20 sheep.
All
20
right. You can have 20 sheep.
We need some chains and a net.
Sheep
need-
chains.
What chains?
Sheep chains.
No,
Sheep
just like
chains.
real chains.
Okay.
Probably a bit stronger than sheep grade, if I have any idea what he has in mind.
Well, I tell you what, you can go to any one of the forges anywhere in the city and find chains running from something that's the width of a thread all the way up to something that's the width of your arm. And you can choose which one it is, but you're still going to have to pay whichever artisan it is that you're talking to for the chain.
Fair enough. But we can trade them sheep.
And
No.
do we like have a plan to deal with the spiders? Because that might be an issue too.
I
never
say,
had
yeah.
ideas.
Isn't that why we brought along Exterminator?
Well, yeah, but like I need to know the type of spider it is. Like
Big
to make
ones.
the best,
Also smart.
to make like the best poison, man. I can't just go in there and just make poison blind.
The best plans are those that involve surprise.
but what about practice spiders?
There's no such thing.
Do you want to like go get some practice spiders, little dude?
I think that it would only be prudent.
Uh-huh.
I think we definitely totally should. We have time until the beard competition.
Well, Your Majesty, unless there's anything else you needed, we have some business.
Very well. You all go ahead. You have rooms in any of the guest houses that you want that are free. and seeing as how you're returning dwarves to the Citadel, and so I will go ahead and dismiss you. Good job, Dane. It was a good job.
Thank you, my lord.
Don't be upset just because I try and give you good advice. At your age, you have to listen to good advice.
Well, good. No, of course not, my lord.
You're only
I appreciate
200. You're only 200, right?
it. And you'll never let me forget it, I'm sure.
All right then. Off you go.
Oh, hey, King Dude. Like, does any of the artisans around here make winches for like huge ass wind chimes?
They certainly can. The ancient designs of elven giant wind chimes are here in the archives. I'm sure someone could put something like that together. I'll tell you this. If you manage to kill the dragon along with Kurzim, we'll have one made for you and we'll inscribe your name on it.
No,
Wait. Why would she kill me too?
Clarification? Are we killing dragon in also Curzon, or is just a bit of clarification so we know exactly what the royal orders are?
And what I didn't catch the first part of the question there, Dane. What was it?
Well, you just said as long as she kills the dragon as well as Curzon, and I just want to be clear: are we killing dragon in Curzon, or something else? Because they want to make sure.
Apparently, I misspoke. Every once in a while, you're thinking something and it slips out. I only meant that that Steve has to kill the dragon, not curse him as well.
Must be a condition of great age and wisdom. I do not know. I'm only 200 years old.
It's fair enough.
And
You're doing well for only a 200-year-old.
Just Steve winks knowingly. It's
Thank
like,
you, my lord.
just let me know what you need, King Dude, because I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right then. And so he ushers you out of the throne room, and you head out of the throne room. And the dwarf with the cask of beer also comes along with you, and so do the various other people that were in the throne room. And so out you go, and there are lots of sort of common halls in the area around the throne room. There are a few little private places, where merchants might get together and talk, things like that. And then there's the way off toward the guest areas where you all have got some rooms set aside, since the three dwarves are all citizens.
All right. So, can you describe, Father, your plan in more detail?
Yeah, so remembering the design, like what the overlook looked like, we should be able to sneak above the entrance.
Yes.
And net the dragon as it comes across and drop heavy rocks on it, and then follow up with an assault without having to deal with the spiders. And then we can deal with the spiders in the classic way, which is to burn them out.
So it enters and exits from a cave mouth in the front.
The Varadin's Overlook is it's a carved gate, large archway that then leads back into a large room, and then back into an area that was mostly mining outposts, and then it leads back into the old mine areas, which is a lot of those mines were played out, which is why they were willing to abandon that area. So yeah, what Ian's describing is actually exactly right. There's the big hole the dragon comes out of. You can get up over the top of it, and so forth. So yeah.
Well, a landslide. And there's, if I recall correctly, as it was a mining post, there were large metal rings you could actually hook those chains into.
No.
Pretty sure they were there.
Well, you could check, but you've got a feeling.
I must be misremembering.
Yeah, you're misremembering. Maybe that was a different overlook.
I have a question.
That was Vorden's overlook. Oh.
What do we use for mortar?
Is this a trick question?
Mortar is not usually used. I mean, you've got the stones actually join and dovetail and stuff like that.
So what do you cut the stone with?
Chisels?
Okay, so everything is done by hand with small devices.
Yes.
Okay, and there's no mortar at all.
There's one, but
The
it's
only
the kind that
mortar
you
need
drop those balls into and it flings them out.
no best mortar needed is strong dwarven gumption.
That's
Yeah,
about
dude.
glass?
I know that. Mortar's what humans use.
What do they make glass with?
Sand?
Sand, man.
And
No,
tiny rocks.
it. What do they heat it with?
Fire.
Magma, dude.
So I mean, they have big blast furnaces.
Yes.
Okay, so they got blast furnaces, and
Yes.
they've got furnaces for melting stuff, and they've got bellows,
Yes.
which means
So
that
every household has a bellows.
if we have bellows, then we have an anti-flame weapon that we can haul up with us while in case he breathes on us.
Let me just calculate. Ah, yeah, I'm giving that 0% chance of success.
I don't know if perhaps it's architecture thing, but do you know how bellows work?
Yes.
Did you say bowels?
Bellows, the big pump.
Well,
Throw the
it
fire
depends on what you've
right
eaten.
angle to where you're sitting.
Don't they usually increase fire, not
Yes,
decrease it?
in a direction that's opposite to where the air is coming from.
I see.
He wants to blow the dragon breath away from himself.
Yeah.
The way you avoid
Back
dragon
onto the
breath
dragon.
is by being not in front of it.
Yes, but if I recall correctly, in your family tree, that talent does not come easily to all dwarves.
I think Bellow is a fantastic idea. We'll have you set up with Bellow out in front of Cave as sort of bait to get Dragon out.
You don't understand the architectural mysteries. I'm going.
That is a fact. I have no.
I'm going to the Architect Guild
Well, if he's the bait, then we can use the sheep instead of rocks.
because we're gonna
Drop on them on the dragon.
According to this, my guild membership, guilds often wield tremendous political power. If you are accused of a crime, your guild will support you. We are accused of a crime, and you also gain access to powerful political figures through the guild if you are a member in good standing, which I probably am.
You were just talking to the king, who accused me of kidnapping you. I feel like your guild connections are working just fine.
So I'm going to go over to the guild and be like, I need the biggest bellows that you have. And also some rock climbing gear because, probably a lot of dwarven architecture involves climbing up on a rock and then chiseling away at it from up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your clan is actually where you would head for that kind of stuff because the hammer strolls are the ones who do all of the stuff like climbing around and designing things and great big blast furnaces, and stuff
all the
like
real
that.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the finesse work that's done by the Piotrkai who make the little intricate things that.
The bit that takes actual talent.
There you go.
But not as much pointing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The work that takes dainty elf fingers.
Whoa, dude.
Immaculate.
No. There's literally a dwarf
is what you meant to say.
his clan.
Because, whoa.
There is literally a dwarf in his clan named Dainty Elffingers, who's renowned for his fine gem carving.
He is fantastic.
Whoa.
Yes, unbelievable.
That's pretty dope. Oh,
In fact, Kurzim, you actually owe that guy 5 gold pieces.
Do I now?
Yeah.
He fixed your watch.
I don't own a watch.
It's not his fault now, is it?
Well,
maybe if you'd taken better care of it after he fixed it for you, you would still own a watch.
I'd like to go to the Temple of the Pillar.
Okay. Kaitror the Pillar. Okay, so you head over there, and actually, since we just hit 7 o'clock and we're on the hour, let's go ahead and take our 10-minute break, and then we'll start back up again at 7:10.
All right.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm worried about how this plan is gonna go, guys. But
Well, we gotta just jump the dragon.
That just sounds like a flawless.
this is like famous last words.
Yeah, we just
Just jump the dragon, guys.
we just have a fight with the dragon, and the rest. Come on.
And win. Yeah. I don't see the
Okay.
big issue.
Okay.
Guys,
Now that I've got all my spells back.
we're gonna have bellows, you guys. It's gonna be
I kind of want to put my money on a big ass shield over bellows.
Well, that's why we're up around the ridge. So
It
we all
sounds
can
like-
just
I mean, we have a backup plan, so that'll work.
We do?
The bellows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go with
The
that.
bellows is
that-
bellows
that-
could be backup.
Can that be planned?
that plan blows.
47.
Have you ever tried to light a cigarette in a strong wind?
Yes.
And it goes in the opposite direction from the strong wind, doesn't it?
Yeah, but there's no way that a bellows is gonna outblow a dragon.
The bellows are huge. It's
We're
also
gonna-
not a big dragon, right?
How are we gonna get huge bellows into the cave?
We're not in the cave, right? We're gonna
Yeah,
go out.
we're not going in the cave.
Well,
That's
I mean,
crazy.
how are we gonna get near the cave without the dragon seeing us, and then the whole plan going?
How are we
We
gonna
come
get?
up- we come up from behind.
without the dragon seeing us.
Okay. I'm not.
What if we
That's
jam the bellows down into the dragon's like throat?
Now you're thinking backpack.
And then we all jump on the handle and it'll blow the smoke down its own throat.
Let's just
It'll
blow
puff him
up.
up like a fish.
We're gonna hide until the dragon goes in. We're gonna watch the dragon from afar, watch it go in, and then we're gonna bring the net and such above it and wait for it to come out and drop the net on it.
I can't remember. Following your advice has never brought us to harm, has it?
No.
Your plans have always worked without a hitch.
Better than a bellows plan. I did level an opium den.
Measure. Never has anyone in my clan ever faced down a dragon without a bellows.
I don't think anybody's ever faced down a dragon with a bellows.
Those are not mutually exclusive statements, my friend.
Well, but what are we gonna do after it's in the net? I mean, and we drop rocks on it and it just
And we're gonna hit
and
it.
that's supposed to kill it. But what if that doesn't work?
This sounds more like a 4th edition plan than a 5th edition plan, frankly.
I don't know about that.
And
It could chew through the net.
then we hit the dragon at the end is a suspicious plan to
We
me.
have to, what we have to do is grant it the condition restrained. Fourth edition plan. That would fail as a 4th edition plan because we'd never have the movement to be able to get down the mountain.
How many squares tall is the mountain?
How many squares? What- Whatever goes wrong with this plan,
Everything.
just remember that if there's less of us who survive, there's less treasure to have to less like spots have to give the treasure up to. Right?
That's not wrong.
I see the love.
Morbid, but not wrong.
However, I feel like all critical parts of the plan involving risk to life and limb should be undertaken by you.
What?
Well, it's your plan, and you do come from an illustrious line of dragon facers, if not slayers.
My family has slain many dragons.
Really?
Yep.
You know that a dragon and a lizard are two separate things.
Yep.
Which one was it that slayed the last dragon?
It was Galorm Iron Fist.
Forgive me, how did he...
30 years ago.
Was that when the dragon burned it off? When he
No. The dragon bit it. The dragon bit it off.
Right, well... And it was... After that, he did retire, if I recall.
Only because of the vast wealth he acquired from the dragon.
And the lack of a hand. Or legs.
Lack of a hand has never stopped the dwarf.
Why didn't he name himself Iron Legs? I wonder.
Because he didn't have iron legs. His legs were fine.
They were iron. Everyone knows that. Just because he wore pants doesn't mean you can fool your fellow dwarves. He walked stiffly.
No, he didn't lose his legs over that.
What did he lose his legs over?
No,
That was trying to
thing
fight
was
the
actually just
Kraken.
because of the enormous iron stick up his ass. He was really just kind of a stiff guy. I know because my cousin, he actually made the fiddly bits on his steel-toed boots. Really delicate work.
Nice boots.
I'm skeptical of the entire enterprise, frankly.
So pitch your plan then. Build your plan here from the ground up with a solid foundation.
I mean, you're putting me a bit on the spot. I would feel as though my plan number one would be to send the fleet-footed elf and the backpack to do some reconnaissance and gather for us news and ideas of the beast's movements daily and nightly. And from there build a plan.
So it sounds like you're afraid of the dragon, little dude.
I fear no. But I know I'm not the fastest, nor are any of my comrades.
So the problem with sending them in, though, but the problem with sending them in is that there's spiders in there.
Well, then they'll have to come out quickly. But they can also wait outside and watch the beast coming and goings, and get some idea, perhaps, of the size of the creature.
It's small.
Small can, when you're speaking of a dragon, can encompass a great many lengths and widths.
It's a young dragon.
You're not helping. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 50 feet? What's a young dragon? How big are they when they're born?
You haven't really seen it, dude. Maybe, can somebody in town, like, tell us? Like, has anybody seen the dragon?
A good question, Stephen.
I'm sure from a distance.
It's just Steve, dude.
Boy, he really teed that one up for you.
Sure did.
Has anyone seen the dragon?
Yes.
How big is it?
Well, okay. So you've gone over to your clan chief of the Hammer Strolls, and so you're talking to him, and so he says, let me get my camera back here. There's the right camera. Okay. So yeah, he says it's a red dragon, and I'd say it's about 15, maybe 20 feet long.
That including the or not?
No, not including the tail, but including the head.
15 to 20 feet is a large beast.
Yeah.
I feel like you're looking for excuses to not do this.
Are you attempting to challenge my bravery? Because I'll have you recall that I've gone into a great many situations that a cleverer man would have avoided altogether.
That is very true.
Now, Emily,
Surprising.
On your character sheet, you said
Yeah.
that your mentor was a horrible person.
Correct.
On a scale of 1 being really annoying and 10 being Jack the Ripper, where is that patron fall?
A 9.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That sounds
Pretty
horrible.
Pretty damn horrible. But, they taught me everything I know about music, so.
Like
This
Ike
is gonna be
Turner.
another Cthulhu situation, is it?
His name was Ike Turner.
Oh god.
Oh Christ.
Okay, so right now Albrecht is talking to the head of the clan, and you guys are sort of wandering around, and all of a sudden, a messenger, you're in the McHammerStroll part of the Citadel, and a messenger runs in, just one of the dwarves, and he says a messenger's just come in. He says apparently there's been a giant earthquake in Jordoba.
What?
Man, we got out of there just in time, dudes.
Well,
It wasn't me.
it destroyed only about 3 blocks of the city, but lots of the other buildings are unstable now. So meat's back on the menu, boys. We've got work in Jordoba for the next 10 years. They're looking for all kinds of dwarven engineers, anything. And we're the
That's
best
great.
there is.
Dope.
That's fantastic.
We'll be happy to, give you the information that we have on Jordoba. We just came from there. With the exception of about 3 blocks, we have pretty good working knowledge of city.
With the exception of 3 blocks. What 3 blocks?
The ones
ones
that
that
have
got
gone
leveled?
down.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the earthquake was centered right around the Crow's Gate and the Plaza of Saint Muriel. I don't know if you know that.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you know that
probably
area.
the best area we were most familiar with, but I can give you a general layout of other, perhaps, I don't know. I'll make you a map.
Okay. So so you're he says, "Oh, that'd be fantastic. We'll just quickly make a map before any of the Piotrkai come and start looking for you, because it's the hammer strolls who do that sort of work." So
Well, here you go. I'll give him a copy of the maps that I have.
okay.
You can copy these.
All right, so he runs off, and there are lots of dwarves in there. Some of them are already starting to put together traveling packs and ponies, because this sort of thing is what the hammer strolls live for. And you can only dig so much. It's dwarves like the McHammer strolls that are responsible generally for balrogs and things like that when delving too deep.
Can I just say that expression, "you can only dig so much," is a very hammer stroll attitude to take.
Actually, that's more of a Piotrkai kind of attitude. The McHammer strolls.
Piotr Kai attitude is you should only dig so much.
Right. See, but we all remember when Albrecht got that shovel in the first level of the dungeon and just started digging and kept on going because no one told him to stop. I mean, that's a hammer stroll for you.
And that is fundamental difference between hammer stroll and Piotr Kai. I'm just saying.
Got the glass ceiling that day.
All right. So the hammer strolls are all going around and doing that. And Ian, I take it you are formulating the dwarven maneuver for taking out the dragon?
Maybe we're having some disagreement about it, so we're gonna try 2 plans, I think.
Okay.
Well, in just to make things a bit more confusing, maybe perhaps a 3rd plan. Can we get some idea of layout of this cave area where a dragon is supposed to be? Are there any sort of convenient water bodies, running rivers, anything like that in the area?
There is a well that's relatively close, but no running water. I mean, it's relatively high up area.
2 plans it is.
Is the well up above the cavern,
No, it's at
or
the same.
inside?
It's at the same level as the overlook, and then it's inside the tunnels.
Okay.
I can. All right, so someone will draw you a map of what the stuff behind the overlook is like. It's like, okay, so here is the entrance from the dwarven area heading to the north. That's from inside the caverns. And then you hit an area where there is a door to the north. Then you go this way. Okay, so there we get to this map. There's the mines up to the north, so you don't need to go into the mines. Although they do at some point interconnect with the area behind the dragon, but that's a tangle of old mine shafts and stuff like that. They don't want the dragon going in there, but so far it hasn't. Then the big box here, this is the chamber of the first closing faucet maneuver, and it has got a portcullis, and the portcullis then leads around, and then we get to the room where the well is, and so I'll show the well there. And oops, that's just all right. We're going to put a door somewhere because I just closed off the wall where I shouldn't have. Okay, so here's the whole thing put together. You've got you would enter from over here in the dwarven area. You go up to this area where there's the choice of directions that you can go in. This is a long distance here. You get into the chamber of the first closing faucet maneuver, which has got the portcullis. You would go through the portcullis, head up here. This is the well chamber, and this is deep in spider territory here. And then getting to the overlook, you'd go this way toward the overlook, this way toward the lair, and then once again, it's all spider area. So this is all like filled with webs and stuff like that, and that's how the dragon. That's the reason why stuff can't get in and attack the dragon, is because they would have to go through lots of spiders first.
Then where does the dragon go in and out?
Dragon goes in and out at the overlook over here. This gap here is a cliff face.
So the dragon isn't bothered by spider webs, apparently.
The what?
The dragon isn't bothered by spider webs, apparently.
No, it's big enough. It's big enough to just force its way through, and if it gets really pissed off, it can burn them.
Do these mines connect to any other mines that we know of?
Yeah, they all. There's a huge complex of mine tunnels, some of which are played out and abandoned. The mines that are currently active are not particularly close to this area. The dragon's not seen as a threat to the active mines, but it could, if it went crawling around in the old mines, there would be a chance it could connect up to one of to the new mining area.
Does anybody have maps to get to that northern part of those mines into where the lair is?
Yes.
Could we acquire those, or a guide?
Not a guide, because it hasn't. People haven't been going in there for a long time, but they of course still have the maps. Now that would be a very long. If you went from this place where I've got mines to this place where I've got mines, that's a long complicated journey. I mean, that's Mines of Moria type of stuff.
So that's Plan C.
Yeah, that's so. As I understand it, Plan A and Plan B have to do with this hole in the outlook, and Plan A for Albrecht is one that involves sheep and possibly dressing as sheep, and then Plan B,
bellows.
and the bellows, yeah, and so that's Plan A. Plan K, which is Curzim's plan, has to do with luring the dragon out, possibly using Albrecht's sheep, and then catching it in some sort of net of chains. Then Plan C is the one where you would go directly through somewhere and fight spiders, and then Plan D would be Mines of Moria, going up through the other end to get to the same place, just a different door.
I'm gonna wear a sheep costume. Steve's gonna give me a lot of opium because this worked flawlessly last time. And then I'll wait outside dressed as a sheep, and then when the dragon comes out, Ian can enact his plan on the dragon.
So are you going to be with the rest of the sheep? Like, are you going to blend in with them?
I think I'm just going to near the front of the cave entrance going, ba, ba.
Just like the one big sheep.
I think like some other sheep might be good.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like a little flock.
And you do realize we have to kill a sheep for you to get inside it.
That's fine. And I'd also like to pack some straw between me and the outer sheep so that it's like cushions that talon grab.
All right. Well, you can stitch together a couple
like
of
5 sheep.
Yeah, you can
Horrendous amalgamation of sheep.
That's horrid.
When I'm eating chips and I see that one big chip, I go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be the fattest, most delicious looking sheep out there. You'll just have, a couple extra accidental legs or something like that sticking out, or.
Oh my gosh.
What has science done?
Okay, so yeah, there are a couple of hammer strolls who have been listening to the thing because they're not because they're like going to be on watch and not allowed to go to Jordoba and try and cash in on that, and so they're listening to it, and they're like, that would work perfectly. We can make you a sheep outfit.
Sweet.
All we need is 5 sheep.
All right, we have 20.
Okay, well, we'll go and get started making the sheep suit then.
Can you fireproof it a bit?
Yeah, like some
All you
plates.
do with straw is get it wet. Right?
It's worth a shot.
I mean, the combination of stuffing it with straw and making it fireproof is almost mutually exclusive.
No, wet straw doesn't burn, bro. Haven't you ever been on a farm?
But it's gonna
Wet
smell
straw
dank.
burns, bro. Wet straw burns, bro. Have you ever seen a flamethrower?
Well, yeah, but just not as much as regular straw.
Okay, no, I'm with you on that. It does not. It does not burn as much.
It
as
does
regular
not.
straw.
No, it does not burn for a brief moment.
Yeah. Because
That
after
might
the
be
brief
all the
All
moment,
it takes for a
after the brief
flamethrower to
moment,
dry
it's-
off straw, then burns like dry straw.
right? It's only wet straw for a moment is the thing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's
Exactly.
like something with a lot of that's not dense with a lot of oxygen in between it, and it's made of dried out plant matter, actually catches fire extra fast, and that's straw. So, like, wet straw is better than straw. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No one's
Better
arguing.
than nothing?
The other hammer strolls are suggesting, because now there's a pretty big group of them over around you. Some of them are saying, so what doesn't burn? And one of them is like, stone doesn't burn. And so they're like, well, you could pack it with rocks as well as all that.
That would be armor too.
Well, the
Or
thing
iron. Iron
to
doesn't.
be able to get out of it. That's the main thing. Like that's going to be important.
You can have a door. Make
here's
a
what I
door.
want. I want
In the anal cavity.
I want
A,
the
a Trojan sheep.
I want the sheep's mouth big enough that I can get a big hook out of it, and like reach out of the sheep's mouth and hook like a chain around the dragon's leg.
Actually,
Or you could like
Fish-
pierce its lip as it's trying to bite you.
Yeah.
Back.
this plan isn't bad. We could fish for the dragon.
What I think we need to do is build extra large sheep out of steel and rock, and then cover it in sheep's fur and have it. Here is good part of plan. It is hollow on the inside, and we can climb in.
I'm just
And
wondering
then-
if make it
and then
so
when-
big it doesn't look like a sheep anymore. Because you did say that this dragon is smart.
It is what?
Smart.
Well, that is fair, but not too big, but maybe just big enough that maybe just Albrecht can fit inside. We can call it Strolkai sheep. It'll be like
If you could make like a beer barrel, like how like a iron keg, like a steel keg.
That's a great idea.
If you could fit in there, I'm just worried if that gets burned, then I'm eventually inside a heat metal spell.
Yeah, you're getting cooked. Or it could just be an oak barrel, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I don't know if that's. I guess an oak
It's
barrel,
also flammable, though.
a banded.
not as flammable as straw.
People are
Also
actually
fair.
more flammable than wood. Actually, it just
You guys do have the suggestion, the helpful suggestion from the chat room that you could build a giant wooden badger.
solids. Never heard it before.
You know how you can have alchemical fire? You can also make alchemical ice. You can have that on your person as an emergency cool-off maneuver.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, I am actually. There is such a thing as alchemical ice. If there's alchemical fire, there's alchemical ice.
Do we have it?
We can make it.
Who?
I'm an alchemist.
Oh.
And we got some time while we're waiting for this this festival of beards to happen. So I can make some alchemical ice and a crap ton of spider poison.
All right, I'm down with that. I want some opium. I want
That's
to
definitely
throw in the dragon's face. I want
Okay.
alchemical ice. I want a banded Cooper's barrel with iron bands, but that's mostly made of wood. I'll get inside the sheep, and then we'll have a hook that I can have, and then the rest of the chain will go on a thin line of braided wire up the slope to Gabe, who then takes the rest of the plan is in his hands.
Okay, now the only problem is that if you're packed in there with alchemical ice, you'll freeze to death quite quickly.
Well, don't you have
What's in
to
that little
tap it
container?
and activate it?
Yeah, here's to pop it.
Okay, so you're going to put the alchemical, you're going to be like alchemical fire, and it's going to be in a bottle, and then what he's going to do is he's going to pour it over himself
If he starts getting toasty.
his
Yep.
iron
My plan was
tag.
like to just use it as in an emergency, and I didn't know what emergency it's going to be yet, but it's probably good to
I
have.
think the alchemical ice is a good idea, anyways, just as like a toss-in weapon. But
All right, so just Steve is going to go and start making alchemical ice.
Yes.
Is that in a rule book, or do I have to figure out how alchemical ice is going to work?
It's exactly like alchemist fire, but it does cold damage instead of fire damage.
Nobody asked what it was. They asked if it's in the rules.
Yeah. Is it in the rule book, or do I need to make it up?
Let me double check. I think it is in the rule book. This might be
Or else you
made that up.
dreamt it. I'm good with making something up. As far as I'm concerned, there is such a thing as alchemical ice. I just want to find out whether there's already guidelines or whether it's going to work the way I think it does.
I'm looking right now.
It kills me.
Well, it'll do cold damage to you, but if you're on fire at the time.
Surely there's an alchemist ice. Like, you can't have an alchemist fire and not just make an alchemist ice. And I'm definitely
Yeah,
not just
that's
saying.
not. I'm not seeing it.
There's definitely alchemist ice in Pathfinder. Well, I mean, sorry, he shall not be named.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
All right,
I'm
so
not seeing it.
okay, so Steve is going to work on alchemical ice, and so you're also going to have to. So it'll fit in a glass box, and the glass won't transmit the cold.
I want to put like a standard earthenware around that so that it doesn't just casually break.
Okay. And then, yeah, it'll be like Alchemist Fire, except it does cold damage instead of heat damage. And it will cost you, in order to make it, Steve, since you're not in a city where there's alchemist stuff, all you're working with is your alchemy kit, which is sort of like a, chemistry set 101.
Yeah.
You'll have to pay twice whatever it is that it costs to get Alchemist's Fire.
Okay.
Ouch.
And it's
Pricey.
it's gonna take some time, and you've got a 1 in 12 chance of having something happen that was unintended in the laboratory. So I'm gonna go ahead and
You've got an 11 and 12 chance of it going great.
Yeah. So I'm taking
He
the.
shows up with a bunch of crystal meth. Got it, guys.
You rolled a 4, so you're all good with that. And actually, you are going to have to figure something out because your opium supply is just about gone. I mean, you've got enough to completely torch Albrecht up for his foray into the dragon cave.
No, my plan was not to smoke the opium before getting in the barrel. My plan was to give it to the dragon if it came to that.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can make
So,
like a
pack
desert
like
for
a-
the dragon.
Pack it
I've
into
got
a
mushroom.
blowgun?
I've got some of that mushroom that you gave to the Ankeg.
Let's use the mushroom. Pack it into a blowgun.
We need to dilute that's just too much mushroom to stuff down his face. We need to dilute the extract of the mushroom to make it really potent so it
Well-
can fit inside the sheep.
So I'll give you the 5 pounds of mushroom I have.
Okay, so Steve's got 5 pounds of mushroom, and he's distilling that into mushroom a mushroom dart of some kind, and is also working on alchemist's ice. And we're gonna let's see. Let's say that the
I'm gonna be so bummed.
distilling the
because
mushroom
missed
venom is
the,
going to be a that's going to be DC 15.
okay.
Paula. So what would end up being your bonus on that? You've got proficiency, you've got alchemy.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I think it'll be wisdom. I guess what's the stat we would use for that?
Intelligence.
Okay. Well, my int is low, so this is gonna go great. But I do have a +2 for alchemist supplies.
Okay. Because you're using the tools and you're proficient in the tools.
Oh, it's a natural 17.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Very
All
cool.
right.
So, you guys are just sitting down to watch the beard competition, the Festival of Beards. And Steve comes walking in the amphitheater, and he is not walking straight.
Oh gosh.
He is actually his face is bruised.
Dudes.
Because he has been trying to fly a couple of times along the way, and he's very, very triumphant because the formula of the distillation of the mushroom drug has worked really, really, really well, and so he is in no shape whatsoever to be here at the Beard Festival when he's not a dwarf.
Can you show us what his face looks like on the mini?
On the mini, you want to see the mini's face?
Yeah,
The
this
mini
is
did
this is
not-
what Steve looks like right now.
The mini.
The mini is so appropriate right now.
It did not turn out well. It's a good figure, but I can't paint eyes, and as it turns out, this one just needs to have the eyes painted. So,
No, this is totally accurate to what Steve looks like.
all right. So here we go. You can't really see it.
Like,
in
yeah.
hold on. Let me see if I can grab it in the focus on the other camera. Hang on, because that one sometimes can do that.
Dudes. Well, there's 7 backpacks, but I think I got it.
All right. So
It's
here's.
totally gonna mess up dragons.
Whoop.
And also maybe everybody here, so please be super. Whoa, okay, just be super
right.
careful with.
There is the Steve miniature. And so that is basically that's what Steve looks like right now. So there we go.
Steve, I need you to come with me to a temple really quick.
Where are you?
Just hold my arm.
How about you hold mine? Because I see at least 3 of you.
And at that point, Steve, all kinds of beards begin growing from all of these dwarves around you, and they're all reaching out toward you like tentacles.
Oh, this is
Oh,
the
God.
weirdest trip I've ever been on. Here's him. Let's roll, dude. Oh God, your beard is. Ah! He just runs away. He's just gonna sprint.
All right, so Steve turns and starts running, and runs into one of the walls really hard and falls over backwards and is unconscious.
He's
Oh, that's
intimidated
fine then.
by the beard. Don't pay any attention to the elf.
It's just a practice elf.
For sex.
Be fair, the beards can be
I'll
very,
make-
very exciting and intimidating. It is not uncommon for newcomers to be driven to
Steve's gonna be
hysteria.
so sad he missed the competition.
Okay, so
I will. I'll write up a quick sign in Dwarven that says "Do not disturb display elf," and just hang it on Steve.
okay, so display elf.
And then I will head to the temple.
Okay, you're gonna miss the beard competition.
Well, I'll stay for the beard competition, I guess.
Okay.
Usually I miss it to rob people, but
The McHammer Strolls have no love for the fine arts.
There you go. The McHammer Strolls do. Most of the McHammer Strolls really do like the beard competition, but not curse him. All right, so the beard competition begins. There is the caber toss while bearded. There is the tests of strength while bearded. And Johak von Johak is just absolutely killing it in this competition. I mean, he's a great big strong dwarf. He's got beard just out to Alaska. And but gracefully he's still able to throw a caber and do all kinds of things, despite the fact that there's all this beard there. And as it turns out, he wins the beard competition and begins. And so they come out and he's got the parchment. He's got a stack of little parchment cards with a picture of himself that's been printed on them by a printing press. And so he's now up there and signing autographs.
get up there. Dane, go.
You're muted, Gabe.
Yes, I am definitely going to be getting up there. I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, and kind of shove my way through and get to the front and.
Okay. So you shove your way through. You get to the front. It costs a silver piece for one of the cards. So you get one of the cards and you hold it out, and Johak von Johak signs it. He's got his great big John Hancocky Johak von Johak signature, and he hands it back to you.
I've been a fan for a very long time. Thank you very much.
Good. Loyal fans are wonderful. He reaches out and he pats you on the shoulder twice, and he says, "You've got quite a beard on you yourself."
Well, thank you. You are my very first beard inspiration. Yes, you were just I'm awestruck. Thank you so much. You do wonderful things.
Okay, so you have now got a card signed by Johak von Johak, and you come around back to the area where your friends who are in the Hammerstrol clan are, and you discover that Kurzim has left, and Steve has a sign on him that says "Display Elf," and Albrecht is just sitting and watching, and Emily's Jiglet backpack character is sitting next to Albrecht, and the two of them are talking about sheep.
Yes, indeed. Especially how good they would taste right now.
Often they're puffy as well.
I'm going to sit in between Jiglet and just Steve's lifeless form, and I'm going to basically start listing off all the beard statistics that I'm familiar with.
Oh, good.
In pointing out all the different ones in being completely oblivious to the fact that they probably do not care, but it is a really amazing, and basically giving beard commentary as we watch the beard show.
All right, Steve. Every time that you say a number, Steve just mutters it back.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you were paying attention. So many people just don't understand the details.
Yeah. 7.
All right, guys. We've got roughly 20-35 minutes. I say that you go kill,
Dragon.
I say you go kill the dragon.
We can do it.
Let's do it.
No.
We have a very elaborate plan that will probably fail, but I want to see it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let me now understand the equipment that is going into this scenario as you roll forward. There are 15 living sheep. There is
Trojan sheep.
Right.
there is a 5 sheep suit. There is some alchemist's ice inside the suit.
Well, there's alchemist ice in my equipment.
In your equipment, okay. There is a stash of opium in your equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Stash of mushroom stuff.
Distilled mushroom essence.
okay, so you've got the mushroom essence,
Mushroom demi-glace.
and then you've got
And
what was
repair.
it you eventually decide? Okay, so the Hammer Strolls have built 2 different sheep plugs. One of them is made of iron and is the size of a barrel, and one of them is made of oak covered in green hides. And that's just because no one was really clear what exactly they were supposed to make. There was an argument, there were several fistfights, and 2 factions went off, and each faction built what they understood it was that you guys were wanting. So
One is made of what, and one's made of what?
one is made of iron, and one of them is made of oak covered with green hides.
Okay, and there is that just the barrel or the whole sheep?
The barrel.
Okay. The green hides are hides from what?
They are they're untanned animal leather,
Okay.
which is somewhat of a fire retardant,
Okay.
which is better than
It's an oak barrel with leather on the outside.
correct.
Okay, as long as there's a way to get in and out, I'm good.
Yes, the guys with the iron have made a door that's got a sliding, not sliding, it's got a turning wheel hatch on the inside that lets you in and out. The guys with the cask didn't remember to do a door, but they saw one out really, really quickly and put hinges on it after you mentioned that. And so it's fixed up too pretty quickly.
Great. All right.
Okay. So what do you do?
Go outside the overlook and act like a sheep.
All right. So you gird up in the sheep suit.
Oh, also, I have a chain with a hook on it.
You have a chain with a hook. You mentioned that. So you've got a chain with a hook, plus all that other stuff.
Wait, which barrel are you getting in?
The wooden barrel with hides on the outside, inside a sheep.
Okay. They discover that there's no way of moving it, but there are a couple of Piotrikai there. And so the Hammer Strolls are all sitting around going, it doesn't move. We need to build legs on it. And then the Piotrikai says, well, why don't you just sling it on ropes, tie some ropes around some of the other sheep so that it'll hold this one suspended between the sheep.
It can't be much heavier than a barrel. We'll just carry it up there, put it down, and then get inside.
Well, you can do that, but it's the Piotrikai points out that it's a lot more realistic if your sheep arrives with other sheep than if it is carried up there by a bunch of dwarves plunked down in front of the entrance and then they all run away.
We're not assuming if we're assuming the dragon's watching the entrance the whole time, then none of this plan works, right?
That's true.
Unless you go up there inside the barrel carried by the sheep.
Well, yeah, that would actually let you get up there fairly innocent looking.
If you can get the sheep to drag me up the hill and someone has shepherd skill, great. I'm down with that. I didn't think we had that level of organization. But
Animal handling, anyone?
Well, isn't not the elf good with the animals? Isn't that what they do? They is like Disney princess.
How you doing, Steve?
Steve, you're muted, Alla. Alla, you're muted.
Good reason.
Okay.
Yeah, dudes. Just I'm recovering from this wicked mushroom hangover.
I do have animal
But I
handling.
can try. But you're gonna be inside of the thing.
Yeah, but I might be able to yell at them before I go in. I don't know.
These are also dwarven sheep, so I'm not sure. But I'm like, I'm familiar with Dwarven, so I can give it a whirl. What are the rest of us gonna do though? Are we gonna go up there as well? Like hide?
We're gonna go above the overlook with the net, I imagine, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got a net made out of chain. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, eventually everybody agrees that you could probably just carry Albrecht's sheep up there, and then they're like, "Do you want other sheep with you? I mean, we could stake out some of the other sheep so that they're grazing nearby."
Well, that was our plan, to have all the sheep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they bring you and all the sheep over there. They stake the put in some stakes in the ground, tie the other sheep to it at different lengths, so that they can go out and graze at different lengths. And so they're doing that. Albrecht, you are inside your barrel, and everyone else, as I understand it, is up over the top of the overlook. Is there anybody who's not up at the top of the overlook? Okay. So Albrecht sits for a while inside the Trojan sheep. And after a while, those of you guys who are up at the top of the overlook start smelling sort of sulfur and hearing a sort of sniffing, rustling noise on the inside of the gates that are down below you. There are even a couple of wisps of smoke that sort of, blow out in ribbons and then disappear into the wind. You do anything?
We want to stay down and hidden.
Yep. We
Okay.
hide as much as we can.
So stealth rolls.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I'm going to have a false life on myself, kind of even before snuffling comes. It lasts a while.
Okay. What die rolls have I got from people? Alla, what's just Steve got?
For stealth is a
Yeah.
20.
All right. Emily?
I got an 11. However, I'm gonna stand behind one of the dwarves up here.
Okay.
Who are slightly larger than me.
Okay.
And I naturally stealth behind a creature larger than me.
Okay. So you're naturally stealthed as long as
I'm behind someone bigger than me.
Okay. Ian, what did you get?
16.
Okay. Gabe?
I have 12.
12. Okay. And Zach, of course, doesn't need to roll because he's in the barrel. So the dragon sticks its head out of the cave, and it sort of looks up, around, and it starts sniffing.
Oh. Didn't
And
think about that.
Bah! Bah!
all right. And so it sort of looks out, and then it looks up. And how have you got the chain rigged, Ian?
It's like a spread out chain net with rocks to the ends of each, so we can push the rocks off and it will fall.
Okay. All right, so it looks up, and then it pulls its head back in, and then a moment later it launches itself out so fast that before you can get the chain out, it's already out. Clearly, it was able to figure out that you guys were up there, and figure out what it was that plan essentially entailed. So it hurled itself out so fast that you couldn't get it. And it wings up in the air over the top of you guys and looks down at you. And then it sort of veers back down and starts heading toward the sheep. What do you guys do?
How far are we from the sheep?
Call it 100 feet.
All right, I will wait
Okay.
We will wait, but a bit farther away from Prism. I want to kind of spread it.
Yeah. Steve leaks away a little bit.
Okay, so you guys break up so that you're not going to all be caught in dragon fire if it comes back.
Yeah.
I wait. So you said it's about 100 feet up?
That on the diagonal. You are up above it. They're maybe about 50 feet below.
Okay.
Yes, it's more like 150 feet probably.
I would like to start singing a very relaxing lullaby and cast sleep on it.
Alrighty.
On the dragon.
Yeah.
Well, you can give that a shot. What's the?
It might fall and smush.
It might. What's
It
the?
might also smush Albrecht.
What's the saving throw?
Let me see here. It's gonna be 14. I don't know what. I guess it would be my spell modifier or my ability charisma.
Okay.
14.
Yeah, it's not. It's not affected by that. So maybe it had a childhood where it didn't like its lullabies or something like that. All right, it's headed down toward Albrecht, and it's going to try and grab the giant sheep. It does so.
Okay, I'm grabbed. Sweet.
Okay, you're grabbed. You're airborne, and some great big claws sort of push through the wood of your oaken barrel, and you're able to see them, but it's not actually reaching you. The barrel is beginning to buckle and crush on the sides.
I'm gonna crawl out as soon as I feel the claws. I'm gonna start crawling out through the mouth of the sheep.
It's like reverse Ace Ventura.
To make it plausible. I'm not gonna yell "Help! I've been eaten by a sheep." I'm just gonna crawl out.
Okay,
yeah. There's no save for sleep. It's just hit dice, but I think it's. I don't know if it's gonna work for.
Yeah, I imagine it was not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
What was the hit? What's the hit dice on it? Needs.
Probably not enough to put a dragon to sleep.
Yeah. Well, it's a young red dragon, but that's still good for 17 hit dice. So.
Yeah.
Hell.
Probably not.
That's several hit dice, man.
Probably not for sleep.
Did we actually happen to glean information on whether this is a male or female dragon?
No, nobody asked that.
I'm about to find out.
Yeah, Zach will be able to check and let you know.
Also, let us know its sexual orientation. That would be helpful.
I don't think
I'll know what one can know from just looking. Dragon and I don't want to go into that.
So,
I feel like you know a lot more about dragons than
all right. So, Zach, you stick your head out of you open the cask door and you sort of stick your head out the giant fake little wooden framework that they've built for the mouth to open up, and you look out and you're being flown toward the top of that cliff.
Okay. I'm going to begin to climb up the dragon, up its claw, and hope that my fellows get to roll initiative soon.
All right. You climb out of the mouth and you grab hold of the dragon's leg, and that's the point at which everybody gets to roll initiative. So you guys see that Albrecht has decided to handle this in the same way he handled the manticore.
And that went off perfectly.
About as expected, yeah.
Aside from thinking I was dead.
All right. Let's see. Does anybody beat a 24?
I also rolled a 24.
All right.
My modifier is +6 because that's the tiebreaker, but
Yeah.
it might beat that.
No, go. Yeah, no, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh, I don't even want to draw its attention to us, but I think it already knows we're here. So I'm
It
just gonna
does.
capitalize on the fact that I beat its initiative and therefore get 2 attacks.
Okay, go ahead.
Um,
Hunter's mark, I assume.
I'm gonna Hunter's Mark first, and then use my Gloomstalker ability to attack twice, basically.
All right.
And it's a 24 and a 22.
Both of those are hits.
Nice. Oh god, this is gonna be a lot of damage. Why can't I find a D8 when I need a D8? Okay. Oof. Oh god. This is so much damage. And I lost a die. I'm sorry. Ugh. It fell on the floor and it matches my carpet. It's the worst day.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay. 21 plus 8. Total of 32 damage with
Okay.
2 arrows. It's Hunter's Mark OP.
I look at the arrows walking into the dragon, impressed.
So it folds its wings and begins a sort of diving arrow directly toward Steve. And it pulls back up again as it lets go of the sheep, which then, like a dive bomber, continues on its trajectory
Oh boy.
towards Steve.
Okay.
So we're going to roll the hit.
Oh god.
Have a proficiency with artificial sheep?
Oh, okay. So what's your armor class, Ala?
It is improvised weapon.
My armor class is 15.
Okay. So the barrel and the sheepskins, which contains alchemist's ice, opium, and mushroom.
No,
Yes.
no,
You
Matt.
had those on
That
him.
is all in my pack.
That's right. You did say that. Okay. So you've got the ice, you've got the opium, you've got the mushroom essence. Have you still got the chain with the hook?
Yes, like
Okay.
that's my stuff. I'm not leaving it behind in the middle of the plan.
Okay.
What
So
kind of lunatic do you think I am?
it's a fair question.
Very deeply, sir.
I apologize for impugning your insanity. So the dive bombing container heads towards Steve at incredibly fast speed, and it smashes about 20 feet away from where Steve is standing. Steve, at incredibly fast speed, and
Matt.
Oh,
Yes.
you know what? I totally forgot that Gloomstalker actually gives me additional D8
Okay.
for any hits that connect on top of the Hunter's Mark.
All right.
So
That is totally overpowered. Oh my god.
my bad. That's
Yeah,
it's
Jesus.
just an extra 5 damage.
Okay.
So
What was that? That was almost 30, though.
it's
Jesus.
only the first round of combat.
40.
It was
Yeah.
it was 32 plus 5, so it was
37.
37 points of damage.
That is like
Dang.
I can only do that in the first round of combat. But he's like tapped.
I'm calling
that-
Blew his load.
I'm calling Mike Morrells tomorrow. He's not going to be in the office now. I'm calling him tomorrow.
The Glooms. It's in Xanathar's guide. It's not even in like the
Power creep.
yeah.
Wait, you're using splat books on your character?
It's Xanathar's guide. It's
You're using a
Close
dragon on her
balance.
character.
That's
Yes, we're
true.
level
Okay.
3, and you're sitting a dragon on us.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
guys
what kind of game is this? I didn't know there was going to be dragons.
We
I know.
just signed up for the dungeons portion of this.
That's right. We're playing
Dungeons
Dungeons
and fish creatures.
Dungeons and
Cultists.
delving.
And beards.
Okay, so the dragon begins to circle around. What do the rest of you do? What's the rest of the initiative order after 24?
I'm on a 19.
Zach 16.
I'm at 16.
All right, we got a 19 from Gabe. What do you do?
Well, seeing this is going down, Dane is going to, I guess, to open up with a hex on the dragon.
Okay.
And then cast Eldritch Blast. That's my bread and butter.
All right, go for it. Say CAT.
Yep, I missed that.
Okay.
Quite succinctly. Okay, and that's it for me. I'll probably maybe move just a little bit further out and hide behind something big like a rock.
Okay. All of you guys have now spread out far enough that a dragon's breath is only going to be able to hit one of you. It's going to have to pick and choose. So, all right. So that was Gabe in 19. Who was next?
Zach.
All right, Zach. What do you do?
So I'm on the dragon's front leg or back leg. What's going on?
Back leg. That's the one it used to pick up the sheep. Was the two back legs.
Oh shit. So I'm.
And it's a male dragon.
I'm going to put the animal trap on its gentleman's area.
Okay, you've got a bear trap.
Now,
Wow.
Ball trap.
that's not going to do that much damage, but I assume it would hurt.
Yeah.
Distracting.
All right. I
I
think
give
now,
him disadvantage.
here's the thing. Oh yeah, it would give him disadvantage. Trying to do that, you're going to have to make a roll not to fall.
Athletics.
Athletics will do it. And
Yep.
what'd you roll?
I'm looking for my modifier. Okay. So that's going to be a 17.
Okay. So slipping and sliding, and the dragon now is starting to sort of kick its leg. It's not really paying too much attention to you. It's because it's now that it's got you, it's screwing around with the people up on this cliffside. So it is sort of trying to twitch you off with the back leg as it circles around to breathe fire. And you're able to hold on, reaching up with, if you're able to pry the bear trap open, set the trigger, reach up, and roll to hit.
Do I get any kind of advantage because he can't see me or anything?
Yeah, you're getting some advantage. Tell me what you roll.
Oh, so does a natural 20 do it?
Yeah, natural 20 will do it. All right, so you snap the bear trap closed on the dragon's balls.
That's the best sentence. This is the best game of Dungeons and Dragons, period.
I'm glad we could provide a distraction down here so that you could pull off the pincer maneuver. We gotta give it a better name now.
Pincer, the pincer maneuver is pretty good, I think.
This will be our go-to maneuver from now on.
No, we have
Plan
to
A.
every time.
Well,
Okay.
you
We
gotta
always go
crash
for
it.
the balls.
All right,
Never gonna work again.
the dragon panics. It sort of folds its wings up and begins to just fall from the sky, twitching itself
Oh my god.
sideways like this. Now it's that's what's happening now as a result of what Zach did. The rest of you do still, some of the rest of you still have initiative. So, who's next? Is it Ian, Emily, Ala? Who's going?
I think Emily probably beats me with Dex bonus.
Oh. Yeah, probably. We
Okay.
we rolled the same, but I have a higher dex, I think.
Okay.
So,
You go ahead.
okay, so I am going to basically, well, okay, so I'll just do a fairy fire on it,
Okay.
which will give us all advantage on attacks
Okay.
if he fails it. Wait, oh yeah, it's a dex save.
Okay.
Dex save 14.
You miss with the fairy fire
Poop.
because it suddenly went into convulsions and started dropping when you aimed, and it was just like, oops.
That does damage, right?
No. It just lights it up so it's easier to
Not
hit
the
for the
fairy
rest of us.
fire, the trap.
Oh.
The trap will do some. Yeah. Okay. So
I rolled the damage and it's 2, and if it's doubled for being a natural 20, that's 4.
okay. All right. So you did 4 damage to it.
Do we see where it's going to land? Like, where is it careening towards the ground?
I don't know, sort of in front, basically just below where it was. So it's
Like
still
behind
that
where we?
it'll still be that 150 feet from you guys down on the lower level, roughly where it picked Albrecht up.
Does it look like it will smush any sheep?
You don't know at this point. It only just started dropping.
Okay.
Ian and Steve, or Ian and
I'm gonna
Paul, try and keep it consistent.
I'm gonna guiding bolt it.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, so I've got a 20 to hit it.
yeah, you got it.
All right. So that's as a second level spell, so it's a little bit more. That wasn't bad. 7, 13, 19 damage.
Okay.
And the next attack against it will be at advantage.
Okay. And Allah.
I went at the beginning.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I
Okay.
think it's new initiative order.
Everyone's gone. Okay, so roll again for initiative.
I'm gonna roll like garbage. Yep. There it is.
That was garbage for you?
Okay.
Roll 7.
All right, it's going in 15. So is 17 is all of the highest with the 17?
That's
Emily is.
Oh,
And
no,
Gabe is.
Okay.
Gabe first.
All right, Gabe.
Actually, 18. Dane's gonna launch another Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay. AC 18.
And you roll with advantage.
And
Oh.
that's right. And you're rolling with advantage.
Ooh, I need that. Yes. It's gonna be a 19 plus things, so I think that'll hit.
Okay.
And I've got the hex on it.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a total of 12 damage.
Nice.
Not bad.
Hey, that's about as good as I can do, honestly.
All right.
And that's it for me.
Okay. Who's next? Is it Emily or
Emily.
Emily.
Okay, so I'm going to cast a Phantasmal Force
all right?
and try and make it think that it's about to smash into a giant pit of baby red dragons.
So there's a pit of baby red dragons down where the sheep are.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's going to smash into it. So that's an intelligence saving throw 14.
It's all the baby red dragons it now can no longer have. So it's like it's really
Exactly.
it's just, she's really just tearing into the very soul of this poor dragon's poor being.
Okay. It doesn't seem to be reacting yet. It'll react in its initiative. Who's next?
Believe it is me.
All right.
The dragon. The dragon's at 15, you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
So it's the dragon.
Okay. All right. So the dragon has clearly just decided that it's simply time to get out of Dodge. And so it is going to breathe fire on Albrecht.
On its own balls?
Yep.
It's immune to fire. Come on.
It's
It's
cauterizing the wound.
It's going to
Yeah.
breathe. It's going to breathe fire on its own balls and the
Is
dwarf.
it immune to the piece of metal sticking into its balls being superheated?
Yeah.
Yep. It
It's
is.
It's a dragon. It's immune to fire.
I
Do you know what's
disapprove
not
this
immune to
whole-
fire?
I think this is a bad plan, Matt. I think
What, the whole dress up like a sheep plan?
no, the dragon breathing fire on me.
No,
I have bad news for you too. The mushroom extract container is not designed for high temperatures.
Oh.
Won't that go
Let us
gaseous
warn you
though?
about this in advance.
Won't it turn into a vapor?
The dragon breathes on me. The dragon is immediately going to get a face full of mushroom.
And so are you.
So are you,
Yeah,
but I think the dragon breath is going to take
most
care
of
of
the
you.
time. So
yeah, see, I don't even know what all. I can't even. So anyway,
Find out what's going to happen.
yeah, it's gonna go ahead and breathe on you.
is it going to melt the container containing the ice?
I don't know yet, Zach. Let me figure out what all is going on here. Okay, you need to make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw.
You can do it.
I have done so.
Nice.
All right. You take.
Oh God.
A fraction of the assload of damage.
Well, how many have you got?
He's got enough. He's third level.
I'm still counting 8-sided dice here. Okay.
It's going to be a lot.
Okay. This better not be like my frickin'
It's gonna be eight
Ogre hit points.
damage right
10
here.
Ouch.
8. Yeah.
Oh, but the DM makes that face. It's good news for us.
That's right.
Well,
Something went right.
to a degree, you take 21 points of damage.
Ah! I've seen worse in the war.
He takes 21, or it's half of 21.
He takes 21.
Oh.
Whatever. This is
Wait. Oh no, I am looking at the right one.
Many years
That's like,
ago.
oh, this other
21.
68.
You know what the average is on that? The average is 56. Oh no, but it would be half. So you're still under. Okay, well you're not that far under average. Anyway, all right, 21.
I'm just like blackened all over.
Yeah, you're totally. You look like Daffy Duck after after he gets torched.
And there's this gentle hissing.
17 hit dice is
mushroom
what it
extract.
used to be in the 8th visit, Sparky.
Yeah, so it's still all right, it starts flying straight up up into the clouds with Albrecht.
Oh boy.
All right. And so it's flying and it's like, all right, dwarf. You've got me by the balls.
I do indeed.
But we're way too high up for you to live if I manage to get you off me. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to undo the bear trap, and I'll let you down safe. Do we have a contract?
Not in that order. You let me down, then I'll take off the bear trap.
All right. Fair enough. So it flies about a mile away. All right. And it comes down and it lands. All right. It's like, I've had time to get my breath back.
Okay, how much damage has it done flying a mile? And how come my friends didn't get a turn while it was flying a mile?
Oh,
It's our range
because-
for us.
it went way high up.
It went way high up.
It went way high up.
Okay, so is he taking 4 damage?
Zach's gonna call Mike Merles.
Do I get
That's right. We'll both be on the line. We'll both be on the line. We'll be like, Mike, we've got some concerns.
Can a dragon reach its own balls?
Yes, a dragon can reach its own balls with its mouth, and no one needs to go any further than that. But if it wanted to bite you, it's got a really long neck, and it could bite you.
Yeah.
But wait, aren't they both tripping on mushrooms right now?
No, not really. I mean, there was a cloud of the mushrooms, but they got out of it
Okay, they didn't inhale that.
the dragon.
Because I think it would be super awesome if they like just started rolling around in the grass, tripping out together,
It would
like Zack and the dragon.
it would be super awesome, but
Are there any
Super
water
potent,
during the
guys.
flying?
are there any what of water?
Water.
Yeah, there are several small lakes around.
Okay, well then, while we're flying, I'll just let go and fall into a lake.
I mean, at that altitude,
Oh.
that's
Dude, that's gonna hurt.
No, he can do that.
But
He
I mean, it's
He can do that while he's still at relatively low altitude. This is before the whole. All right, so it's like he like tries to make the deal with you, and you're like in the other order, and then you like cut loose over the top of a lake and drop.
order of events and the elevations really matter here. Like, I'm not gonna like, so he flies up into the clouds. We
Yes.
go, yeah, I say, put me down first. Then I realize he's flying me a mile away from my friends where
Yes.
I can't enforce my deal at all. So
Okay.
he's trying to double cross me. So as soon as if there's a point where I'm low enough to fall into a body of water in a graceful dwarven swan dive without fucking dying, then I will let go at that point and go
All
into the water.
Well, no, let me step back on this because he is not going to be able to get. Okay, so the question, I did not catch your question. I thought you were asking whether it could bite you.
I was at first. That was the first thing.
Okay, right.
But-
So it can bite you. It cannot
Yeah,
it can't undo that bear trap. Okay, so I misled you with that answer. You're right. It cannot undo the bear trap.
And
So-
okay, you know what I'm going to say? I hope I would say, I see a large amount of country out here. You realize that you'll have a lot less trouble from the dwarves if you just have your sheep-eating operation in a different area. We may not be able to kill you, but we're troublesome, are we not? I'm attempting to
Finding you, yes, you're very, very troublesome right now. And
kill me, they'll just be more exactly like me, played by the same
Oh.
players.
all right, fine. All right, no, look. All
Don't drop me a mile away and then fry me. Put me near my friends. I'll remove the trap. And if you've learned to respect the dwarven kind, you may move back to wherever it is you would like to be monstrous, so long as it is outside the municipal city limits of Dwarven Place, LLC.
All right, that's fine. I'll let
All
you
right.
down. I'll go. I'll move the hunting ground. All right.
Sounds perfect.
All right. So he lands. He's still landing way out of bow shot, though, of the other
Okay.
people. All right. So
Okay.
all right. So he goes. All right. Get it off.
Okay. And I say now, and I'll take out quill and paper, and I lay it down.
What
and
are you doing? Get it
I'm
off.
making out a contract, sir.
Keanu,
And
you
We have
are
a-
totally
we
gonna
made-
respect the
we had-
contract.
We had an agreement. Hurry up. Just I'm gonna leave. All right. Fine.
You're gonna leave with it on your balls. You're gonna sign the contract. sir.
All right. It reaches for the quill with its front leg, and it quickly writes down as fast as it can in poor handwriting. I will leave the dwarves alone,
And
and
I will not in any way harm Albrecht the architect.
and I will not harm Alan in any way. Albrecht the architect, and then it's signed.
Should
to-
I marry and
Warm.
settle down and create myself a cave of a
I'm
fire?
going to go ahead and torch you
hire
now
him
if you
or
don't
his-
get the bear trap off me.
All right, here it comes. Close your eyes. Like,
All right. It launches as soon as you do that, it launches itself up in the air and starts flying like hell away.
did I get any dragon's blood?
Really, you want to harvest its ballsack blood?
You little bit of dragon blood on your bear trap.
You flew out like a yeah. So okay, so that means that we've got dragon's blood. So
You
that's
have a small quantity of dragon's blood.
take
yeah.
that to the alchemist. Come on, Allah. You've got something you could do with dragon's ballsack blood.
All right,
Oh,
let's.
God. I don't want to think about it, but we totally can probably do something. with that.
And with the contract, roll it up.
Although I should mention that most reptiles don't have external genitalia like that.
Dragons do.
Oh, I guess they do.
Yeah,
Thanks, internet.
Most of them don't have what is it, 6 limbs and whatever. And most of them don't talk
Or breathe fire.
Also, mostly dragons are fictional creatures and don't exist at all. So.
I mean, we gotta apply some known science to our fictional creatures.
So
It's like
scroll into King Gunther's room and plop down the contract and say solved.
No, let's go check out that lair before we do anything.
Oh yeah, it's probably full of loot.
Wait, isn't the lair through a spider hell?
I mean, we
lair is
beat a dragon. I mean, spiders.
They'll just send you in to bear trap their balls. It worked really well last time.
Yeah, spiders don't have balls though.
Well, scientific fact.
No.
I don't know. What about giant spiders?
So let's do
You'll find them.
Fantasy spiders.
This is a game grounded in reality anyway. I mean, really.
we can do the torch it out plan first.
Well, here's the thing. I do have to, since we're after 8:20, I do have to do an interview with somebody, and let me check and see if he's around. Hold on. Because if he's okay with putting it off, let me see if he's there. Casey. Where's Casey? I think it was today.
Oh yeah, you guys are doing that tonight.
Yeah, the interview.
Well, considering the Kickstarter, we can wait and just deal with the dragon's loot and all the spiders at a later time.
I'm fine.
It is
with
Casey's
that.
moment to shine.
Okay, yeah, let's well, I mean, it's not going to be a live interview with Casey. It's going to be a recorded one. That was why I was going to check and see. But okay, so here's what we'll do. You guys go down to the throne room. Wow, that just freaked me out. I ended up on the YouTube page with the time delay. Hold on. that will mess you up. Okay, so down to the throne room. Yeah, you go down to the throne room. Albrecht throws down his note from the dragon and says, solved. I think that was what you said, right?
Yeah.
Solved. And so the king just sort of sits there looking at the thing for a while. And he says, Albrecht, you made a contract with the dragon instead of going and killing it.
True, but it won't be there. And I'm covered in dragon blood. I feel like we should get some credit.
You get credit. Dragons, when they sign a contract, they obey them. I'm just wondering how you managed to get a dragon to sign a contract with you.
Why?
By the
We totally lost Alla there.
Little known fact. It turns out dragons actually do have external genitalia. We'll perhaps leave it at that.
Fucking lost it, guys. I can't.
Like whole face first, I'm covered in ball blood. Like
you enforced a chaotic evil dragon by basically holding it by the balls.
That's how he did it.
Holding it by balls. Bear trap by balls.
It's very effective.
Albrecht, you put a bear trap on a dragon's balls.
Well, drugging it didn't work.
I didn't have a dragon trap handy.
Well, I think it's a difficult question, Albrecht, but I'll have to really look into it and really hope that what I'm thinking isn't true, but it may be that we have to knight you for that.
I also think he needs a very specific title related to incident.
No, I'm sure we can find some way of not actually having to knight Albrecht, but we do have to check in the books because I think the law does indicate that under circumstances like this, you do have to knight the dwarf who manages to do it, but we're definitely going to put our very best men on trying to make sure that doesn't have to happen.
Albrecht, the ball biter.
Oh, I was thinking Sir Albrecht the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
I would also accept ball breaker
All right, well,
or castrator of dragons.
I'll tell you what, Albrecht. You can work on figuring out what your title's going to be, and we'll put the rest of you up
They
for
were
a couple of
helpful.
nights, and then we'll have the banquet in your honor
Fantastic.
and all of that.
Like the Nutbuster.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and we'll figure out the. There's no treasure yet because you still got that lair protected by the spiders, but we can go ahead and give out the experience points for the dragon.
This entire adventure was a treasure.
It really was.
Aw.
This was amazing.
All right, you guys are splitting up 5,900 experience points.
Who's good at math?
The calculator.
1,000.
What?
Now, Emily, we are using in order to slow down the fast advancement process. We are using the first edition Player's Handbook Fighter experience table, which is so you're getting the XP from 5th edition, but you're on a slower moving progression. So you started at 3rd level, so you would have started at 4,001 experience, Emily.
Okay.
If you get over, you need 8,000 experience to make 4th level.
And that was 1180 for that.
Okay. So you just move forward a chunk because you're also going to get some experience when you recover the treasure. So.
And kill a butt ton of spiders.
Yeah. But this is the thing: since we're using the 1st edition table, you're also going to get experience for treasure as well as just for killing monsters.
Cool.
So basically, the second half of this adventure is still waiting for the expedition to the Dragon's Lair next time. All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and take us off the air. Let me just real quick before we do that, let me get everyone's feedback on the. No, we'll do that some other time. All right, we're going to go ahead and take it off the air. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. This was a really and truly unusual culmination of an adventure. I'm not going to say that it was the climax of the adventure.
It was the complete anticlimax.
Yeah, but I hope everybody had a ball.
Oh.
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 You just keep rolling them out, huh, Matt?
Yeah, I really could. This is what I trained for in middle school locker room jokes, is to be able to handle this situation.
Well, you didn't have to tell me it picked me up by its back legs.
No, I did not occur to me. I don't know why, but it somehow didn't occur to me that you were going to try and climb up the leg and put a bear trap on his balls.
As soon as I started asking about whether it's male or female, I think that set it in motion right there.
Maybe so, yeah.
I figured the halfling was going to try and seduce it at that point.
I was actually, that was the original plan,
That
but
was
then
the thought.
Zach's was way better. So
Zach discovered it was male and decided to go up there and do something about that.
yeah, we now have a female dragon.
Right, pretty much.
All
It's a-
dragons will now be female.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take us off. We'll see you everybody later. See you next week, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon and all that good stuff, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.